Hello.
Hello.
Right. Hi. So we're doing the candidate interview for Treasure. I'm Tejas. This is Abhilash, and you're
My name is Advait
okay.
and I'm the candidate for treasurer.
Yes.
So, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Just regular routine classes.
Acha.
Okay. Why did you want to stand for treasurer?
So I actually to understand why I wanted to stand for treasurer, I would first like to throw light upon why I wanted to go and become a CSM member first. So in my second year, I was a part of many clubs and departments. As you can see in my credentials, I was a part of Acadasocs. I was a part of regional assocs, which I've not really mentioned, but I was a contributing member of a Maharashtra Mandal as well. I have worked in Fest OCs, I have worked in clubs as well, I have worked in independent organizations, plus I had a JPOR as a project lead. Now, after all my experiences, I have noticed that the campus really needs a proactive and efficient CSA because I hear rants from my coordinators saying,
Okay.
so yeah, that is why I wanted to become a CSA member. Why specifically the role of treasurer? It's because most of these things are about NFAs not being passed, most of these complaints, and it personally fits very well with my current skill set, which is like allocating ledgers, this disbursement of FNF and SF funds, which actually goes along with my sense of empathy as well. So that is why this role of treasurer.
Okay. So, we'll be going over your SOP. Okay. Your agenda. So, firstly, the alumni and professor donation portal, which you mentioned.
Yes.
So, what do you think are the issues with the current fund allocation system?
Okay. So a couple of clubs um, in the previous years have actually raised donations from alums, but that takes like the pipeline which is required for getting the funds right now. It takes around 3 to 4 weeks, and it is a very rigid process because there is not it is not a streamlined process. It is a process which these people have created themselves, and it is a very inefficient process as of now, and only two people are being able only two clubs are being able to tap into this large fund which can be raised from alums, and they have raised a significant amount which has helped them in their club activities and helped scale their clubs significantly. That is the problem I'm trying to fix through this alumni and professor donation portal. I want to set it up so that the alums can donate money easily, and these people can even claim this money very easily, right? Along with that, I have even mentioned professor donations. So the professors of our campus, I have spoken with a few of them, and they're actually willing to donate to these clubs for their club activities. So that is what I wanted to throw light upon.
Okay. Fair. What will be done about funds left over at the end of the semester? Will they be rolled over to the next semester?
In the professor donation portal?
Yes.
Okay. So funds which are donated through the professor donation portal, alumni and professor donation portal, they have two options: either to donate to a particular club or to donate to the CSA fund overall, right? To donate to the CSA ledger or to donate to a club. If it's donated to the club, I will make sure that the fund is rolled over by keeping track record of how much of this fund has been used. If it has been donated to the CSA ledger, then like it already exists, like the system already exists, we will have to reallocate it the next year to different clubs, depending on the necessity.
Okay. Sure. The previous treasurer also wanted to establish an alumni portal. Were there any changes made regarding this in his tenure?
No, he could not set up an alumni and professor donation portal. He wanted to set up an alum donation portal, not the professor part. I'll tell you the reason. First thing, this portal was going to be set up through AID, and the AID ka bank account was going to be used. But the problem which existed, which arose at that time, was the change of leadership. The leadership of AID actually changed from ex-associate dean, Professor Nitin Sharma, to current associate dean, Professor Sarang Sidhongri. So in his knowledge transfer process, he was not ready to accommodate any new initiatives during the first year of his tenure. So next year I will be able to push it better, since now he has understood the processes and understood the system better.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Also, who is responsible for creating this portal?
I have spoken with DevSoc current chief coordinator, regarding this, and he's positive that next year, according to the timeline DevSoc has thought of and envisioned, this project will be able to fit in well.
Okay, what is the expected timeline for this portal as of now?
It should be created and ready to be used by the end of June.
Okay.
Right,
Have
we'll
you
go-
consulted the people who work towards the previous treasurers, that is Saksham's portal?
Saksham's portal does not exist. He did not create a portal. He did not allocate funds for it.
He did not create a portal.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. Now you mentioned the CSA fundraising team.
Yeah.
You have basically mentioned the means for donation. What will be the fundraising team do that will be difficult to do directly between the alumni and CSA or alumni and clubs?
Okay. So obviously we have 21 years of alums according to the history of Goa campus, right? Assuming the batch strength to be an approximate of 800 because the earlier batches used to have lesser number of students, the number of alums that actually exist from Goa campus are a huge number, right? So to conduct outreach to all of these alums won't be feasible for a single person like me. So firstly, doing outreach to these alums will be their task. Secondly, their task will also be creating the CSR reports, which I have mentioned in my first point. And it will also be to help research about grants and procure grants for our clubs, government grants, for example, AICT, SPICES, SSPCA, all of those grants. Not just that, they will also be reaching out to professors for bringing funds in. Right now, these are the responsibilities I've thought of.
Okay. What will be the training process for the members of the fundraising team?
Okay. I'm thinking of, in my induction process, which will start after the compre's end, around 5 to 10 days after the compre's end, I will float a form for the second years. I'm planning to induct a team of 15 to 20 members.
Okay.
Right? So these 15 to 20 members, they will be inducted by the end of June, conveniently when the alumni and professor donation portal will be made, right?
Okay.
So by that time, through the induction process, I'm going to keep it very learning oriented, so that these people can learn. And I will assign them some tasks of lead generation and report making during the induction process. So report making, lead generation, and outreach, calling a few calling tasks also I will provide them. So during the induction process, they will be well trained, and when I finalize the inductees, I will give them a few test trials who I have personally spoken to during the induction time. I will have spoken to a few people myself, and I will ask them to continue the outreach to those alums. So they will be trained accordingly. By the time they reach campus, they will be trained.
Okay. I think you mentioned that by June the portal will be done.
Yes.
So you've talked
By the end of June. Yeah.
By the end of June. So you've talked to Sarang sir already. So
yeah.
Permissions are fine from
admin permissions
side.
Are fine from admin side. They are positive that the portal will be made.
Okay. So and it's only the technical challenge making the portals left then.
Not really. The last year, another challenge that AID mentioned was the lack of an outreach team, which I fixed through the CSA fundraising team. So that is the only thing that stopped this. That is also the thing that stopped this portal.
Okay. So you'll train the team, and the portal needs to be made, and admin is fine with the portal being made.
Admin is fine with the portal being made.
The portal will get made in a month.
Yeah, a month. I mean, by the end of June, it will be.
Yeah, because like after comp, it's a month. Yeah.
Okay. How will you raise awareness about this donation portal among professors and alumni?
As I said, outreach. The CSA fundraising team will be continuing outreach throughout the year, so that there is a constant revenue stream. Not constant, but a effective revenue stream which actually brings in revenue throughout the year.
Okay. Also, lastly, how will you ensure transparency?
Transparency. I'm thinking of including a system where if the alum chooses to donate to a particular club, then that club coordinator will get a message depending on which club coordinator is going to be the POC for this portal. I'm thinking of keeping one POC from every club as a POC for this portal.
Right.
Okay. You also talked about the formalization of the bit scares.
Absolutely.
How is the distribution of bit scares funds like?
Right now, the distribution of BITS Cares Fund is vague, and although the accounts are maintained, the and purchases are verified by the purchase and store unit. The thing is, these, as I said, this expenditure is very vague. I am proposing a policy for this expenditure because this expenditure is an internal sponsorship, which was a point of the current president last year. So he had implemented BITS Cares Fund coming for the first time. But the thing is, when it was released in the month of February, it had a hurried expenditure, and there was no formalized way to actually spend these funds. So that is the policy that I'm thinking of implementing.
Okay. So will it be more or less uniform across clubs, the distribution, or does it correlate to the present expenditures of the clubs?
Again, I will ask clubs to submit an SOP as it already happens in budget meets, and whichever club has the need for that money and can justify the need for that money will be allocated accordingly.
Also, how will you convince admin to prioritize allocating these funds strictly in the beginning, considering delays in fund distribution have happened in the past, like in this year, they got really delayed?
Yeah, by February. So I have actually spoken with the current associate dean of SWD, who is Ranjan Dey sir, and he is positive that they will be able to release the funds by the beginning of, I mean, by the middle of September-ish this year. So that will be a significant change in the timeline.
Yes.
Okay.
That's good. I mean, September is pretty early in the year.
Also, you talked about a club inventory management system.
Yes.
Have you spoken to any club coordinators regarding this system?
Yes, I have spoken to a couple of technical club coordinators who have challenges in maintaining their inventory. So they are actually positive about the system being implemented because I'm planning to also add a request mechanism to the system. It will be mostly an interface, and I don't think it is a project large enough that DevSoc needs to be burdened with the creation of this portal. I'm thinking of building it myself since I'm a developer myself.
Okay.
So let's see, hopefully if we can have a dry run by the time audit.
Could you explain the club inventory management system in more detail?
Yes. So basically the club inventory management system will be an interface in which there will be a table with SKUs, the number of the SKU, the amount of the
SKU
inventory value, SKU being the product.
Yeah.
Right. The amount that is spent, the quantity, the rate, and the current value of the asset. This will also ensure that the inventory is being, restocked as it is replenished, right? This will help them in that way as well, so that if an asset's life is decided to be 3 years or 4 years, we can save and allocate funds accordingly in the next year's budget, depending on how much inventory is being salvaged the next year, right?
Okay. Right. So you're solving the problem that you're managing the inventory of a club for itself.
Yes.
Now, this is not some common inventory then, right?
Ideally, an asset which the club possesses, right? It is also of financial value, and that is why it falls under the purview of treasurer. It is the inventory of the club. I agree, and the club coordinator's liability if anything happens to the inventory. Similarly, the request mechanism, as I said, there will be an undertaking in when someone is borrowing something from another club. As I said, the request mechanism, a club coordinator can borrow an inventory item from another coordinator, depending on that.
Okay. Now, for me, this seems like you're formalizing it, sure, but is there a need to formalize this?
I feel there is a need to formalize this so that, as I said, the replenishing once the inventory is salvaged and a lifespan is put on the inventory, the budgets can be allocated accordingly कि कौन से club को कौन सी inventory कब चाहिए रहेगी. In the next 3 years, I need not I need not allocate funds for this particular SKU, right?
Okay.
That is what I mean. That is the need to do this.
Right.
Again, to streamline the budget allocation system.
Right. And this is purely for clubs managing their own inventories. So like club owned inventory.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you aware there is now a common inventory?
Yeah, there is a common inventory which is in the store unit near the basement. I'm aware of that.
Like you're talking about a location?
Yeah, I'm talking about a location.
Okay. And it like
Like
do you know of something which is in the common inventory?
There is a mat which is used during Quark for one of the events. I'm not sure which event.
No, I'm going for this for like continue with the next question then.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like this is connected to Ronak's agenda from last year regarding the clubhouse. The new inventory will be recorded and checked according to the print as in CSA. So, are you aware of this?
I was aware of it, but now since the clubhouse is almost ready to be made, this inventory system has not been implemented to my knowledge. So that is what I wanted to bring about, right?
Okay. So it's about the system then, right?
It is about inventory being managed for the club so that even the budget allocation for next year can happen very well, and it can even facilitate clubs so that if, for example, there is a part with X club and Y club needs the same part and that part is reusable. Then the part can be donated from X club to Y club.
Okay.
With the
Yeah. So the thing is, to solve this exact problem, what CSA did this time is now the mics that we're using right now, these don't belong to any club. This is common inventory.
Yes.
So now there is common inventory that all clubs share, right?
Okay.
So this then exists on campus, and since all clubs have their inventory, so you're saying you'll just make a system to manage this then?
I'll make a system to manage the clubs as well as I'll include the common inventory in that, and the request mechanism for common inventory, the undertaking can be signed by whichever coordinator is requesting for the part from the common inventory.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about fests, which are also covered under you. So, do you think we need a transparent fest ledger?
Honestly, this falls under the purview of the Department of Finance and Asset Management's purview, which is DOFAM. Ideally, transparency is one of the best policies that the campus can implement. But the thing is, there are many agreements signed in fests which are very confidential and very critical to the fest, which cannot be shared in public at times. So although it falls under their purview, and I believe that everything in our campus should be transparent, that is not really feasible because of these reasons.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, like even if we don't go for details, just having we know the past prices, and a very simple balance sheet would also be very explanatory. Ki, is a fest in profit or is it in loss? Because we've seen ki Pilani and Hyderabad face problems ki their fests go in losses.
Yes.
Sometimes our fests go in losses, right? Even if we don't go for details, just some simple information of our fest going in profit would also be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, such declarations, if the fest isn't positive, are made informally in control rooms, but and the Department of Finance and Asset Management knows whether the fest is positive or negative.
Right.
But as I said, these things are not meant to be revealed to the currently they are not revealed to the general body, which is I mean the general body should at least know whether the fest is positive or negative. That I think should be a bare minimum. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay then, right. Then I think we'll go to what is your opinion on this disagreement that happens between the departments and CSA.
Yeah, your opinion on the issue.
Most of these issues exist because of mainly who's going to bring the vendor, right?
Right.
Now, if for example party A is bringing a department A is bringing a vendor to the table, they feel their involvement in the fest, and the more vendors they bring in, they feel more as a part of the organizing committee, since they have contributed more in terms of vendors, and vendors are what make up the heart of the fest. There are vendors for food court, there are vendors for nights, all of that. Now, most of these arguments are regarding who will bring a better vendor and who will bring it for the best and who will bring it for the most nominal cost, right?
Yeah.
So ideally, in every ideal case scenario, the person who is bringing, whose deal is the most optimized in terms of quality and price should be finalized. But the problem comes where some departments or some parties are prioritized over the others. That is where I think the problem exists currently. And I mean, honestly, again, which deal goes to which department is decided by the Department of Finance and Assets Management. Um, so I feel that these problems can be solved only that way. It doesn't really fall under the purview as a treasurer, because a treasurer's role is not in the fest finances as such, but to be present as a CSA member and to facilitate the other coordinators in their routine tasks.
Okay, but
Okay.
like if something like that were to happen in your tenure as well, how would you deal with that?
What I can do as a part of the organizing committee, I can forward this to the president that a particular club is being prioritized. A particular, not club, but department is being prioritized. And honestly, again, since the fest finances and assets management does not fall under the purview of the treasurer, the president will take the matter forward with the parties.
Okay. Why have you not included anything regarding the fest leisure in your agenda, given all of the issues which happened this year?
Yes, I have, as I said, the creation of a fest ledger should be done by the coordinators individually, and they should be involved in the process. And since there is no organizing committee that has been finalized as of now for the fests, officially finalized by now as the fests, I do not know how the power dynamics of the dynamics of the fest will be OC will change the next year, and the dynamics of the fest OC are very volatile and they change year by year. A formalized fest charter was not in my agenda because the responsibilities of a particular department change every year, change slightly every year depending on the, as I said, nature and relations of the department with the rest of the OC. That is why I find the creation of a fest charter not feasible, and that is why I
Okay, so
did
you
not.
think the creation of a fest charter at all is not feasible?
Some basic ground rules can be defined, like basic responsibilities of a department can be defined, but a charter is supposed to be a comprehensive and detailed rule book of which department will do which work, and that cannot really be officialized or formalized, given that the fest dynamics are very volatile and everything changes depending on the situation. Some roles are picked up by other departments in case departments were inactive this year. For example, in Quark, a department was inactive and the work was distributed amongst the remaining members.
Right. So there was this disagreement between departments and CSA, and what do you think? Like, the reason was you're saying that multiple parties were trying to get vendors, and then this disagreement should be resolved by DOFAM, right? So why was this disagreement there with CSA then, between departments? CSA.
Yeah. So currently, to the best of my knowledge, I'm speaking. Currently, till the time at least till Waves was over, CSA had a veto power over a particular vendor, and their vendor was prioritized, right? So that is where the departments came in and they felt that it was the wrong thing to do, because
Okay,
the remaining departments, again, I said the best deal should go to those vendors which have a balance of quality and pricing. The then set of coordinators of DOFAM felt that CSA provided that vendor. That is why they chose CSA, right? and the remaining vendors were discarded. And the remaining Fest OC did not align with the thoughts of DOFAM that this is a optimized balance between price and quality, and that is where there were issues in that.
Right, but wouldn't a Fest charter solve this disagreement then? Because how do you plan to resolve this if you don't have a formalization? And then again, like if disagreement happens, who resolves it? Because I feel like we're talking about two separate issues. You're saying that DOFAM was supposed to resolve, but I think I'm talking about the disagreement that happened that CSA was intervening on some things.
No, as far as I know, the CSA was interfering in they were just trying to bring in their pitch of the best vendor.
Okay.
As I said.
Right, and then like this wouldn't happen because you wouldn't do that next year. The next CSA wouldn't do that.
Well, if as far as we all are concerned, every Fest OC is primarily a student, an engineering student. These people are trying to perform tasks which are not really their profession. So, profession, I said, okay, I'm not saying they're incompetent in any way or form. They're very competent. But it is not necessary that a particular set of students is being able to bring in a better deal of a vendor than another set of students studying in the same college, probably in the same course.
Okay.
Right? That is why this thing comes up, right?
Right.
That is my main concern. Right?
Okay.
If the Fest can get a best deal, whichever department it is, that department should get the deal.
Right. And this decision, judging which is the best deal, is taken by DOFAM.
Right now, DOFAM.
Right. And are departments in agreement with this? It's DOFAM that will be deciding which vendor we go with.
Well, it's very much under the purview of DOFAM who to give the money to. So if they are releasing advances for a particular vendor, those necessary financial resolutions will be signed and activity resolutions will be signed, and that vendor will get the money. So if DOFAM is controlling the bank account overall, and you cannot pay the advances, then it is DOFAM who is going to whose purview it comes under to decide which vendor is coming. Is it not?
Yeah. Okay then. I think we're mostly done with questions. We've gone through your agenda. Is there anything else you'd like to clarify?
I personally wanted to contribute to all of the clubs and departments and independent organizations I'm currently a part of, and being in CSA would really help me do that and really help me facilitate all of the campus bodies problems. So I feel like me being in a CSA will be a great addition, and my agenda is very aggressive. I'm talking about scaling ledgers, right? And I'm talking about scalability. I hope that all of the next club coordinators and the next coordinating committee of all clubs, all departments have utilized the funds that I bring in newly in a good manner, which can contribute to the campus culture and make our campus culture more vibrant and better for the upcoming batches, right?
Yeah.
That is my main idea.
Okay then.
I think that'll be all.
I think that will be done. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.